Da, 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 da. We're live. We are live with our people. Oh my
Hi,
gosh. Nice. Nice. Hello, everybody. We
what's
will
up?
welcome hello to the faithful followers and welcome to the newbies. And I hope you will be a faithful follower of us every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We enjoy what we're doing. I am Judge Dawn. This is Judge Vivian's brainchild as the law turns. And each week we come here commercial free and payment free. Anyway, that's a whole nother touchy subject. Commercial free to talk to you about law and law related topics. She's shading me already. It's 15 seconds into the show, and I did something wrong already. To talk to you about law and law related topics with the goal and the emphasis of increasing minority participation in law. Now, we didn't say be a lawyer, we said in law. We are litigators, we are trial attorneys. We love what we do. We love being in the well, we love the challenges, the conflicts. We do well in for the audiences. This is our forte. This not be may not be your forte. Not everybody wants to stand in the well and argue jury trials, but you can do agent. You can do premise liability, like representing Walmart and slip and falls, and you're not in court that much. You can do insurance defense. You could do divorces. There are not a lot of divorces go to jury trial litigation. You can be a talent agent, or you can just learn the law for your own benefit, because we have found out, we've already know this for 4 years of college and 3 years of law school, and we have each years of experience. We found out that law touches every aspect of your life, everything: where you live, how you live, where you dress, how you dress, mask, no mask, school, no school, everything. And so we encourage you to join us in the legal field. And Judge Vivian said 5% of lawyers in the United States are minorities and 3% women, or do have the figures? Thank you. Wow. According to the American Bar Association, ABA, 88% of all lawyers are white and only 5% are black. So we deem ourselves the 5%ers. And once again, the goal of this As the Law Turned Facebook, Twitter show is to increase minority participation in law. Okay, so that's my speech. And we welcome you.
I love when she gives the speech, guys, because she always adds what I call old people making the words.
I
I
add
love
something every time.
it. But yes, hello and welcome. I am Judge Vivian, and as judge who was actually sitting on the bar, judge on the
I'm kind
bench.
of,
I was saying he was
that's
actually
okay.
sitting on the bench for over 13 years.
Mhm.
um presiding over cases. I don't preside over cases. I just talk a lot. People pay
And
me to
because
do it
it's
now.
her show that she created, she can call herself judge, okay? And the bar can't
I
do
mean,
anything
Steve
about it.
Harvey is now a judge, which I feel like
Isn't
needs to
that
be a show.
something? Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Harvey is a judge. Hello.
Yes.
You
Yes.
think you
Treat
want
it
maybe
like
what you
family.
know about.
If you're rich
But
enough, you can do anything.
you know,
Yeah.
it's got some things to it. But we're gonna talk about that one on another show because that's gonna be an
Yes.
interesting today.
Yes.
We are talking about dun, 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 dun. If you
Oh,
saw the
yes.
title, you know Volusia County has just reenacted, or I guess the word is put before their constituents because it's not
Yes.
official yet. That they want to start getting inmates to pay for being housed, for food, and to do laundry when they get arrested. So if you get arrested in Volusia County, you have to start putting some money on the books. Now, it's $5 a day from what I understand currently. There's already some payment processing when it comes down to being incarcerated in the United States and in the state of Florida. I don't know if anybody understands that process, but here's a quick moment in law. Okay, so
Which
when
we try
you
to
get
avoid. No.
Yeah, we want to give you a little snippet, but we don't want to overwhelm you with it. So our little moment in law is about bail. And normally when you get arrested, unfortunately, that may happen for some people, you go before a judge and the judge says, well, I think that you are a flight risk, or I don't think we're going to get you back to court, or for whatever reason, the judge determines that they're going to give you something called a monetary bail. So that means they put a price on how much you should pay in order to get out. In doing that, then you have to stay in jail unless you can get out. Well, now they're saying not only are you just going to be in that holding time with the money that hangs over you that you have to already pay to get out, but then we're going to charge you $5 a day while you're in. Now, this, I believe, from the way I understand, is going to happen for those whose cases are closed officially and actually serving official sentences. But it may also be for those who are not serving official sentences quite yet. For those that don't understand what I mean, so there's two things of how law goes. When you first get arrested, you're not serving an official sentence. So that means there is no judge that has forced you to stay there for a specified period of time because you have been found guilty of a charge. So you're in a holding position in the beginning, nonetheless, still in jail.
Yes.
So you're going to be charged now for food. They're going to be charged for laundry, and they're going to be charged for housing. And I don't know how I feel about this, largely because I think the criminal system is already too monetarily based. And it's skewed because the unfortunate part is there are high numbers of incarceration for people of color. And I think this is just one more nail to their coffin to keep them from being more productive members of society when they get out. Am I wrong in that thought?
Well, I've struggled with this one today. I really am, because anytime you take the side of the government and things like this, you're deemed a sellout. If you don't take the side of the government and side with the incarcerated, majority of which are minority, you're being a racist. And it's always a delicate balance of a law abiding Black female, what side to fall down on. If I was a judge sitting on the bench, I wouldn't have to worry about what side to fall down on, because whatever the legislators do, whatever the county commission does, as far as the rulemaking authority, we are sworn to uphold it. We are sworn to abide by that. But I'm not a judge right now on the bench. And so I do have a voice and opinion and things like that. There's a $30, my cousin Bernice, watching her. I admire her so much. I want to show one day just to talk about my cousin Bernice. She is just super. 52, 53 years of marriage, looks like 40 years old, very accomplished. But anyway, she's thanks for your support, cousin Bern. Thanks for your support. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. There's a $30 interest fee or housing fee initially. And this, like I said, this makes me very uncomfortable, because any side that you come down on, every side is going to have a problem. Do I think the inmates in some way need to be charged something for something? Yes, I do. I don't mind saying that as a sitting judge, I pay $33,000 a year on taxes. 33,000. Now, those of you will say, at least you had to make money to make $33,000, but I didn't go to school. Judge Vivian didn't go to school for 7 years to, oh, she's going to shave me on this. Pay for your children that you don't pay child support for. Feed your children and pay for your free lawyers. Okay, she's going to shave me now. She'll probably block me and beat me out. But I've said it now. Also, I didn't go to school for 7 years to pay for your crime. Not only am I paying for your attorney, I'm paying for your transportation to jail. I'm paying for your housing. I'm paying for your dental bill. I'll pay for your medical bill while you're incarcerated. And why? I did nothing to do this. Now, I know we live in a democratic society, and sometimes you have to pay for my things, and it doesn't always balance out equally. I understand that we're not on an island, But there's a part of me that says, yes, there should be some sort of consequence financially for what you're doing. Now, innocent until proved guilty, but now you're making pay $30 a day to entrance fee, $5 a day for housing. I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it doesn't say when you're found guilty. It says for housing, for the lodging, for the food and substance and medical bills. I didn't do anything wrong. I was stopped and I didn't know my license was suspended. The officer didn't believe me. Now I'm in custody for 3 or 4 days or the weekend. I can't make bond until the next day. And now the next day I still can't make bond. And so that was a Friday. And Monday still can't make bond. And maybe sometime in the next week I go before a judge, and the judge will either set bond or hire appoint an attorney to to represent me. But I've been in jail for a week now at $5 a day. I can't afford it. Now my family, who has done all they can to give me some little honey bun money and shampoo for my due, puts money on my books. Now you take that. Fair? I don't know. I usually Judge Vivian and I have really strong opinions because we're really strong, opinionated Black women. We really are. But this is curious to me. I don't know.
And I agree with you. And I'm not laughing at the situation, guys. I'm laughing because she said honey on my books. Anyways, I agree with you. That's the problem I fear. Like, I would come into contact with a lot of people who were incarcerated on simple things like a license suspension. I don't find that serious. I do understand the nature of it happening multiple times, but I still don't find it that serious. And here we are having to deal with them paying for something when, first of all, and this is the other catch 22 of it that gets me, and I'm going to read it from the article really fast because I want to make sure that I state it correctly. According to what I read in the article, if they do not pay or do not have the means of paying, or somehow run into some issue with being able to pay, they can get certain things such as civil liens on those that don't pay. Liens may result in wage garnishment, driver's license being suspended, and the seizure of property. Now, one thing I have not understood since I have been in the criminal defense system is why we take people's license and then expect them to be able to pay us. You took their biggest means of transportation, and that's usually how they get to the job that puts the money in the account that then they draw to give to you, but we take that away when we want you to pay. Blows my mind how that's effective. But that's what they do in the state of Florida. Once again, though, unfortunately, it's so disproportionate, not just to people of color, but to the poor. And I think that's what I'm going to be frustrated about with this. It doesn't rectify the need of those who are just poor. And a lot of times that's how even bail gets a lot of people who haven't done anything to be sitting in jail for longer periods of time because they're essentially poor. They cannot afford to get out. And I think we're going to run into this again. And now you can place civil liens, seize people's property, take their monies from them, offer not paying a bill that, let's say they do go through a trial, they're found not guilty. Do we reimburse them for the time which they sat in jail when they were found not guilty after these trials? Or are we just ignoring the fact that they were set and just saying, oh, we forgive all the future fees, but because it's a past fee that we should have implemented on you in the first place, maybe.
I'm not going to touch the driver's license issue because recently I've decided to probably go back as a sitting judge, as a senior judge. And so maybe one day a month, one every other month, I will do something. So I'm not going to comment on the driver's license issue. The legislators have imposed those mandates and consequences. But I do want to comment on judges and attorneys are people that come to court and jury selection and jury trials and the bench with their own biases and things. So I'm sitting here as a Black female, understand what it is. And I was not poor. I was very upper middle class. Mom and dad are still married. I was 67 years. I went to private school. A lot of members of my family are very successful, including my cousin Bernie. Very, very upscale family. However, I've been in situations that I said, Lord, let these lights turn on one more time. A lot of people that do not look like me have never been in that situation. So if you have a fine, even though mandatory, there's ways that judges can get around it. I have to impose it because it's mandatory, but I can waive it. I can say, I'll forgive it. DUI. I impose a mandatory fine of $50 for whatever, but I can waive it. So I've not violated the law. The legislator said I can impose it. So now, once again, I'm sitting here, a Black female for all my life, have been through situations and family been through situations. Lord, let the light whites come on one more time. Tommy, upper middle class, 60-year-old white male, has never been in this situation. Never. The idea of waiving a fine or cutting it in half is pshaw. We're not going to do that. I'm coming from a very, very nice bench. The 42 other judges are comrades. I respect them. I love them. But I know how biases work. We don't have to be prejudiced to be biased. I'm thinking, you can pay this light bill. You can pay this $5. It's only $5 because I live in the country club. I have a plane. I have a nanny. I have a boat. So Judge Fields may waive it, but me, Tommy, never had a struggle in my life. Says you can pay it. Your driver's license
But
may
the
be
problem
suspended.
with that is the waiving still comes after the fact. And then from what I understand of it, you're not waiving the fees of when they sat in jail originally, right? You're waiving the fees from their plea date. Am
I don't know. This is all new. The articles we just read like a week ago. So I think the county council is still voting on it. Maybe not. It was a 6-1 dissension. Maybe it's a mandate now. So I don't know how they're going to impose it, when they're going to impose it. But lot of stuff. The legislators, the powers that be, impose things and leave it to judges and lawyers to figure it out, make it work.
I know. Then we butcher
Make
it,
it
then they
work.
be mad. And ain't
Yes,
got you should
make
have
it work.
knocked out.
Yes,
However,
yes.
I agree. I agree with you that I think it's gonna come down to more of the bias of the bench, and I do think it's gonna come down to who's on first. Um, but that's what I think is what bothers me the most about it is it's just that once again we're in the struggle of money, and we know that the disparity of poverty levels are steadily increasing between the rich and the poor. That the lines are getting farther and farther apart from each other. Even though more and more money is to be had, the lines are still getting farther and farther apart. And there are even studies that say, and I'm only saying this because I do think it's going to disproportionately affect people of color, especially Black people. Um, they're saying that the wealth gap of by 2035, I believe it is going to be almost zero for Black Americans in the United States. So they're the highest incarcerative populace, and on top of majority of the time are the ones who get arrested for these driving on license suspended charges. Majority of the time, the ones that get arrested for child support issues. You already have a monetary issue we're trying to fix with bail now, and then you're gonna add another one. So for me, I think this is a bad move. I do. I'm gonna come down on my side for it. Let us know what you guys have. Everybody knows this is a participatory show. We like to hear what you're saying. We like to hear what you think. That's why I got jurors leave a comment or a question down in there. If you have something else that you want us to explain about it, let us know. But tell
And I
us
have to
what
say this, Judge Vivian. This is, I'm going to go back to the purpose of this show that you created, a great brainchild, to get more people involved. The county council, Volusia County Council, is made up of a chairman and I think 7 people. One person dissented against this vote. That person is Black. I'm not even throwing the race card in there. I don't like that. I don't, there's no race card, but it's just an idea of diversity. we emphasize every week. Y'all need to get out there. Y'all meaning us. Get out there, participate, run for county
Exactly.
council, go to county council's meeting. These people, the people that are making your decision, don't really necessarily look like you, and the experiences are not like you. I'm not talking about racism at all. I'm talking about biases and experiences. I can't really understand what it feels like to be a man because I'm not a man. I can read and philosophize and talk and think, but if I'm with men, I can share input about what they feel and what they go through and make better decisions. So if I'm not a man, if I'm not Black, if I'm not Hispanic, if I'm not from a poor background, I think one way. I need you all as a community to join me, to help me think a different way, not right or wrong, to think a different way, because we're all in this together, e- every one of us. And so, when Judge Vivian talks about, and we talk about this as a show, minority participation, this is one of the reasons we're talking about the local county council. Your loved one gets jailed, and now you get your loved one $20 for the honey bun fund so he can get the honey bun and sticky buns in the jail. And all of a sudden, that money is taken. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I really don't have an opinion right now. I have an opinion, but I can't firm it up. I don't know. But
For me,
you need
I
to get
kind
involved.
of do, because I know for the reason why I think my opinion is going to say I'm a little strongly against it is because for me, I'm aware of the things that inmates already have to pay. So when you get, if you do, let's go to one who's been convicted already. They already have to pay court costs, which can go upwards of, I mean, the lowest for most misdemeanors is roughly $400.
Yeah.
So you're roughly going $400 upwards. Then you're having to pay. There were already some expenses of incarceration that were added to the tab. This is just an added expense on top of those expenses. Depending on what jail you're in or prison you're in, whether that's a private prison or a government owned prison, those kinds of things are going to factor in. You're adding that money. So right, let's guesstimate that's probably an extra $200. So now we're at what, for, I don't do math well as I would like to.
Six
I'm good at
six
it when
hundred
I take
dollars.
it's
About
600.
six hundred
Yeah.
dollars. Yeah.
I'm good at it when I take my time, but that's why I became a lawyer. So the numbers start to add up. Now we at 600. It may seem simple, but then the
Public
next
defender
number,
fee. Public defender
exactly.
application fee,
Then we
fifty
got to add
dollars.
on this. Then we have to add on any fines that the court may impose based off of activities they think, oh, this person should get a more hefty fine because they did so and so and so. That can go upwards of thousands of dollars, depending on whether it's a felony or whether it's a misdemeanor. If it's a basic felony, then it's $5,000. Yeah, that. And then if it's a
Dollars.
basic misdemeanor, then it's $1,000. So now that's $1,600. Mind you, this person's probably, let's say it's a driving while license is suspended. This person probably already is license is suspended because they couldn't pay $300 or $400 in insurance fees. So the license is probably now got into collections, which adds a 40% collections debt and fee on top of them. So now we had another $1,000 they have to pay to get just their license back. So just the amount, so by the time these people get done, for, let's say, for me, I consider one of the more simple misdemeanor crimes in this state, which is a driving while license is suspended. Let's say this person is it gets back their fees. They are unfortunately found guilty for whatever reason. We've now added, it cost them. I had one client had to literally pay $6,000 to get his license reinstated. So now he's found guilty. He had to pay $6,000 to get his license reinstated. He's now got to pay the court approximately $2,500 to $3,000 on top of the $6,000 he just paid to get his license reinstated. And then you get the opportunity to suspend his license again, garnish his wages, and or take away private property. That's what I mean when I'm just like,
Well, now let me pay the other side of this. I've already paid your rent. You got a stimulus check that we pay for. And money doesn't just create it. You got a rebate for your electric because you can't afford your electric, even though you have 6 children, you're not working, you're living in a 4-bedroom, nice apartment. Like I said, you're getting government subsidies as far as your medical bills, food stamps, help on your electric. Can you pay for your incarceration, please? Can you do this $5 a day? I'm
But
giving
the
you
president
everything else.
have you, because the stimulus check was only $1,600, which does not even come close to most people's rent. Most rent now is $2,000 and above, and that's for the box, literally the box that they put out on the side of the street in Texas.
I don't want to get off track, but who got a stimulus check? Not me. Not me, who works hard every day and
And
7 years of college.
But I'm
I didn't get
saying
it.
we're talking about, that's why I'm saying we're talking about the poor being affected the most disproportionately by this. You already have the unfortunate part of the fact that the stimulus check was very small compared to the actual needs of those who it barely covered most people's rent, if it covered that. So I'm thinking about the pile up. The reason why I'm thinking about it like this is not really just because of the burdensomeness that it places on the person, but my problem is its cyclical nature. The thing that I think we get into a lot of, especially when I come back to the public defender's office, we used to call them frequent flyers. That means that people used to come back regularly. Unfortunately, it puts people into a trap of a secular nature. You get what I'm trying? That for me is what I think I'm thinking about. Because now let's say, let's say mom with 6 kids who's on EBT is trying to pay. She found a little part-time job. She's trying to get herself together. Mind you, from the things that I have learned about welfare, whoo, that is another topic for another day.
Yeah,
it is not
yeah.
your friend. And then woman, she's trying to get herself out of it. Now you trapped her back into the license got suspended. Oh man, because she missed a payment and the insurance company reported her and didn't give her a chance, didn't give her a grace period. So then now she gets incarcerated. And I get that her other things have been paid ish by the government. And I said ish because let's face it, they ain't giving her really enough to cover much.
Right,
and now she's trying to get out of the system only to get thrown back into it again, and then again, and then again, and then again, and again. And then we mad and say, oh, but she back for the 15th time. Well, who assisted in that is what I guess I'm thinking about. Guys, come on, leave your comments, leave your questions. You know, we want to hear from you. This is a pretty interesting topic, I think.
It's interesting. I'm still maintaining that they need to pay the incarcerated something at some point, and I don't know what or when, because the burden should not be on the taxpayers. It should not be. If you're found not guilty, that's kind of the consequences of the system that we live in. This is the best system in the world. We have democracy, we have juries, and we have lawyers to represent you. We have a constitution, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. And so the system is not going to be perfect. There are going to be people caught up that really did nothing wrong, and then have to pay that $5 a day. So something needs to be paid by somebody, and I can't figure out when and where. Luckily, I don't have to figure it out because I'm not a legislator and I'm not a county council. But all of us in the law will have to deal with this at this point. Even your private attorney, or me being a senior judge, or if you ever go back to the public defender's office or run for public defender, this is an issue we all have to face and deal with. And so, I'm torn.
I must admit that I like that it's kind of low, though. I'm not going to go against that part. I do like that it's lower than I would have imagined. Like, I'm glad they didn't be like $500. And I'd be like, what? Then I'd really be like, okay, all the marbles have been lost. Clearly, Florida went off the deep end and decided, we were just going to cut Florida off and float. They'd be like, clearly. But, gratefully they started at something that I must admit I would consider more reasonable at $5, even though it can go upwards of 30, if I'm not mistaken. From when I read in the article, anywhere between, I think they said $5 and $30. So I like that they semi-stayed reasonable-ish with the fees. It's a lot of reasonable. It's a lot of ish in this one. It's a lot of fluff.
I like the fact that if you win a lawsuit, you may get some of this, but I don't know about that. Like I said, I'm still, if I've been badly injured in the lawsuit, and this lawsuit is to really compensate me for loss or enjoyment of life, now I'm paying for the incarceration. I don't know. I'm going to reserve my opinion until what the county council does and see how it really plays out. What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
I'm curious, and I'm curious if it's going to then spread. We all know how the state of Florida is, the jump on ship track. You know, the train moving, the state of Florida, like,
pray for me. I got
to go jump on this train. What is it about? I don't know. I just see it moving.
I don't know, but it's moving. It's moving. I want to be there. Yeah.
So I got a feeling that once it started, it's going to spread like the wildfires have consistently spread throughout our state. And we're going to be, however it's implemented, you know, the first ones that have done something new. I'm being cautious with the word new and politically correct. Yes, Florida, I am shading you. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and put them on, because it seems like every time Florida come up with something, Florida like to come, and people be like, "Oh, you from Florida," and you just be like, They say the little Southern term, "Bless your heart, bless your heart." So, you know, I do know that it's gonna spread once whatever ends up happening, because that's the way Florida is. But I am curious of how it's going to happen, and I do fear it's just going to end up doing more damage. I want us to get out of the bail system as it is. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
Because I just saw how detrimental it was as a public defender. Yes. For those of you that don't know, this is the sarcasm and the shade going again. Public defenders are smart. They do know what they're doing, and guess what? They actually care about their clients.
And you know what? They're real lawyers. There's a shocker. They went to law school just like these attorneys that you pay $600 an hour. I'm not saying you shouldn't or couldn't or wouldn't. I'm just saying they're real lawyers. They're
passed the bar the first time.
Wow. Wow. I wish I had shades.
I threw all the shade. I need a fan with that shade I just threw. I gotta keep the glasses on for longer, because that was a hot one. So yes, I'm excited though to kind of figure out what's going to happen. I do agree with you that there should be some consequence for getting in the system, especially the ones who know that they're supposed to be there.
Yes.
So I'm not mad at that part.
I just want to encourage you before we leave. Encourage us to phone in with us, follow us, give comments, give show suggestions. We're here for you. We're doing we love what we're doing with entertainment purposes. We love what we're doing, but we really want to encourage you to think about a law related field. Get involved more in your community legally, and tune in for us every week. We have fun, we have good ideas, and we want to share with you and encourage you.
And share. So if you like what you see and you're consistent, I see some consistent numbers and I see some consistent people. Thank you so much. Very, very honored to have you. Grateful that you are here. I'm gonna throw the butt in there. On the other end of it, though, I'm gonna need y'all to share. You know, I'm gonna need y'all to tell your friends. Word of mouth is still better than all this other marketing, because you know you believe your friend more than you believe social media. Let's face it. So please share, like if you have any topics that you see in the news that you want us to talk about, feel free to toss it in a DM. If you toss it in my personal DM, I'm gonna be honest with you, I may or may not get it. So go to the Facebook page and send it to us and just kind of let us know, or just put it in a comment at the bottom of any of the videos that you see. We're excited to have you guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thursday. And yes, we're going to get our segments with some other attorneys back. So stay tuned.
Very good. Bye. That's exciting. Thank you so much. Thanks, cousin.